I'm all Greg.
Hello and welcome back to yet another video. This week I am remaking the first costume I ever made. Back in 2009 I made this Cardcaptor Sakura costume and it was okay. A few years have passed since then and I think I can do better. So there'll be several parts to this video. There will be the red dress and the white underdress, accessories like the gloves, hat, stockings, props like the book stuff and maybe a Kero. And in this video I am going to be tackling the structural skirt layers. So as you can see here I actually have a hoop skirt, which is a pancake hoop skirt which sticks straight out. However, I'm also going to be making a petticoat to go in and around it, just for some extra fluff, because I mean, look at the skirt. It is so fluffy. So without any further ado, let's dive on into making fluff for Cardcaptor Sakura. First things first, I watched a YouTube tutorial because I had a very specific petticoat shape in mind when I wanted to make this. I wanted something excessively fluffy and also sticky straight out, right? It'll be linked down below. And here's what I need to make the fluffy petticoat. A lot of sturdy tulle. And I got 30 meters of a white bias tape. I'm actually not sure if this is enough. I'm hoping it is, but we will find out together. If not, I'm just going to have to go and get some more. So, on to cutting.
The first thing I did was attempt to cut out my tulle exactly like it is done in the tutorial video. However, I found this exceedingly difficult to do because my sewing table is backed hard up against a wall and theirs is not. So that means they can drape the other end of the tulle down behind the other side of the sewing table, whereas I had to jimmy up this contraption and like roll it onto a dowel and it just didn't work. Things got wonky, I got frustrated, so I looked for something else to do instead. And that something else was just folding the tulle on itself multiple times so that it was a nice, small, easy to manage size, and then I just used my rotary cutter to cut it to the size strips I needed.
That was so much quicker.
After cutting all the strips, I sewed them together in batches to create several lots of long continuous ones.
So, this is why we watched the video through first before we cut anything. She did two 30cm sections and one 15cm section because the 15cm section was cut on a fold, so it was another 30cm section. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because if I wanted to redo it, I'd have to get another 7 meters of this fabric just to cut out one of those 30cm pieces. So maybe I cut the rest of it down to 15 centimeters, who knows? I'm going to go sit in the naughty corner and think about it. Okay, so I've figured out how to fix my problem, and that is I'm going to cut one of the 30cm sections down to 15, so then I should have the right amount of pieces. And I'm doing this because her finished result is quite a long fluffy petticoat, so I'm hoping this will make mine a bit shorter, because I would like mine to be a bit shorter. Yeah. I'm having fun. No going back now.
So once all 6 pieces are hemmed, I'm going to start ruffling it.
What do you mean, all 6 pieces? I have 3. Where did the other 3 come from? What is going on? Oh, this wasn't meant to be this hard.
After avoiding a crisis and realizing I did indeed have 6 pieces, I then sewed a bit of bias tape along the bottom edge of all of the strips. I did this for both aesthetic and comfort reasons, because this tulle is really stiff and itchy and I don't like how it feels on my skin, so having a nice bias covered edge means that it feels nice and lovely up against my legs.
The answer to the question everybody was wondering: no, it was not enough bias. I still have 2 more of the tulle pieces to line the edge with, and that's going to be another 14 meters worth. So there you go. That's how much I need it all up. Good morning, it is now another day. I'm now onto the part of the tutu making where I need to break out my ruffler foot. This is brand new to me, I've not used it before and I'm very excited. Look how butty it is. Huge. So anyway, I'm going to chuck that on my machine and I'm going to give ruffling a go for the first time ever. Okay, so that didn't work. It just made angry noises, sucked my fabric into the machine and created a giant bird nest in the bobbin. So I don't know what to do. I read the instructions and I'd done everything how it said. I'm so glad I used a test strip of fabric first. But yeah, I am going to use my gathering foot instead because turns out this thing scares me. And the gathering foot essentially does the same thing, just a lot less terrifyingly.
After attaching the gathering foot, I then ran through all the individual strips of the tulle and lightly gathered them.
The layers are all done. I have finished the edges with overlocking, and then I turned the overlocked edge up and top stitched it down. Now apparently that gives it a bit more strength and stability to make the flounces even more puffier, so that's exactly what we're after here. Now I need to sew each of the ends together and then sew all of the layers together, so let's move on to that.
Basically, the layers are made up of 2 lots of the gathered tulle sewn together, and there are 3 layers of tulle in total, so 6 gathered layers altogether. Once all 3 layers were made, it's then time to gather that top edge and prepare them to be joined together. After using my machine to run the gathering edge along the top edge, I then adjusted the gather by hand so that each of the donut layers was about 2 meters in circumference. Then all 3 layers get sewn together to make one. And as you can see by this wonderful footage here, you can see just how difficult it is to sew that much stiff tulle through a sewing machine.
Okay you guys, I just had a genius idea. I'm up to the part of the petticoat making where I should be adding like the top tiers of the petticoat to a waistband and then, you know, it's all coming together. But I just did this. I have pinned the ruffle part of the petticoat to the hoop skirt that I already have, and honestly, I think this looks incredible. I think what I'm going to do instead now is actually remake the hoop skirt out of a nicer fabric, because this acetate is absolutely horrendous, plus the waistband's a little bit too small for me. And I'm just going to sew the ruffle bit of the petticoat straight into the hoop skirt, because this is perfection. I am so proud of me right now. Like, look at this. It's so fluffy. Let's remake a hoop skirt now.
Using this handy dandy circle skirt calculator available on Mood's website, I was able to draw myself out a tiny little circle skirt so that I could replicate the circle part of the hoop skirt that already existed. Next, I mark in where all of the hoop channels are going to sit. Using a cotton twill tape, I then create all of the hoop channels. Next, I cut a strip of fabric the length of my waist to create the waistband. First, the strips get sewn together to create the actual waistband, and then it gets sewn into the hoop skirt itself. Finally, I use some thick elastic and a safety pin, and I thread that through the channel I just created in the waistband. Then the elastic gets sewn together, and now we add the tulle to the hoop skirt. I just put the hoops in the skirt, little sneak peek, and I love it. So without any further ado, let me show you how it has turned out.
Sakura-san, ご飯ができますよ。
And there you have it, that is how I made the petticoat slash hoop layer of my Cardcaptor Sakura costume. Really happy with how it all came together, as you can see, perfectly pancake. It's exactly what you want. It gives the structure for the perfect silhouette, and I'm so happy that it came out exactly as I envisioned. So, on to the rest of the costume. Make sure you stick around and subscribe. Each week I'll be uploading a new part in the series. Next week will be the white underdress, followed by the red dress, and then finally all the accessories and the props. Do feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of everything so far. I love reading through them all, and yeah, it just makes me very, very happy. Just like this costume does. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I do a lot of sewing, crafting and fun related things here on this channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye!
Hey, boogie, boogie,